from the southwest, so from Devon. Started off building boats, so it's quite different to what I'm doing now. And I've been in Manchester for about 15 years. I've been involved with homelessness for nearly 20 years. I've worked with Depot UK, which manages Nightstop, for 13 and a half years, I think now. And for a majority of that time I worked as a family mediator in Oldham. And over my time sort of working in homelessness in general, I wanted to try and stop it from happening in the first place. There's a lot of emphasis on seeing people on the street and the challenges and things that those people face, but I'm like, how can we stop that from happening? So I've been on that sort of journey for a while, and mediation has been a big part of that, and now Nightstop is that place where we can provide a safe place for somebody, so it ties in really well and helps prevent the crisis in the first place. So all boroughs in Greater Manchester, we will accept referrals from anywhere, yeah, we're growing all the time. How do we help people? I think one of the biggest things that we do in terms of helping people, apart from just providing them a place to stay, is to help them connect with other people. So the hosts we have are really great. They're fantastic people who care about young people and see the challenges and want to make a difference. And although we are about providing that safe space, that's a massive part of it. Those connections and the stories that you hear from young people connecting with our hosts, that's really, I think, at the heart of it. Why do I do what I do? I just care about the situation that people are in. I got this big thing about injustice. This is one particular area that I can see. I've potentially been on the edge of homelessness myself in the past. I've seen the stories of people who are like right at the end of their journey, maybe, then their 50s and their 60s, and they're telling you about their life, and that was the experience I had in one particular hostel I worked in London. People were saying about when this stuff started happening for them, when they were 15, when they were 16, and I was like, well, even then I was thinking, how can you stop this from happening? What can you put in place to stop this from happening? And that's always been my real motivation, is about prevention, about trying to end homelessness at that earliest stage. One of the stories I tell quite regularly to most people in their training and everything is something that happened just before Christmas. We had a young woman who's referred to us. She'd been sleeping in a shop, an empty shop. She'd been in vulnerable sort of accommodation before a landlord had run off with a rent deposit, so she didn't have anything. And that night, after she was referred, she stayed in a host's home. And I can remember chatting with that host and with her the next day, and just like, oh yeah, she was sitting on the couch with a dog watching TV. And for me, that's the massive contrast from the street to somewhere unsafe to somewhere in a home type environment. Yeah, it's not their home, but it's a homely environment with somebody who's actually caring about you. And for me, that story just sort of sums up what Nightstop is about.